Introduction. Ceiling price for chicken in Malaysia is our topic for our report in order to complete our report for the economic subject. As we all know, chicken is one of the essential goods in Malaysia and the world, and it is essential in our daily meals as it provides a good amount of protein that can bring many benefits for our body. In the middle of 2022, Malaysia has faced an extremely increase in the price of chicken. This problem leads to the decreasing in the demand of chicken as the households do not have enough money to buy the chicken. Since Malaysia runs a mixed economy system, the government needs to fix the price by setting the ceiling price for the chicken in order to decrease the price of chicken, as chicken is one of the control items. This will help the household be able to buy the chicken in a reasonable price. Other than that, this is one of the ways in which the government protects the welfare of Malaysian citizens. But for the supplier, they can't make any profit if the government set the ceiling price. The suppliers need to follow the policy whether they like or not in order to solve an extremely increase in the price of the chicken. Our objective for this report is to understand more about microeconomics that we learn in class by applying this topic for our report. In addition, we can also be more alert with economic issues that happen in Malaysia. Last but not least, this report was made from our discussion about current issues that happen in Malaysia, similar with our syllabus that we learned for this semester.
Summary of the article. Based on the article, we can see that the raised ceiling price for chickens are becoming an issue in Malaysia. As we all already know, chicken is one of the main sources of protein. Chicken is used for cooking on a daily basis for many people and is also the main ingredient in almost all types of food that ever exist. Unfortunately, a global food inflation to supply chain disruption triggered by a geopolitical conflict and climate change occurred that become the factor of the skyrocketing price of chicken in Malaysia. The article stated the standard price of chicken has increased. Datuk Sri Ismail said the government will provide RM 5.9 billion to subsidize the higher cost of energy production. So, domestic users in Peninsular Malaysia will not face a hike in water and electricity tariff, so that it will not burden the people by the rising cost of living. There are also many other initiatives that have been done by the government, such as cash aid of RM 500 ringgit will be given to eligible low and middle income households. Some 8.9 million households are stated to receive up to RM 2,600 ringgit in aid this year. The cap was said to be lifted, but the public uproar saw the decision being scrapped. So, the government decided to continue giving subsidies provided with RM 369.5 million tied to the new ceiling price. However, for some business, there are still many problems. The problem already occurred since February due to Malaysia's chicken supply started to shrink. The cost of imported livestock feed also has risen by 70% since the war in Ukraine started, which is the main factor of driving up production costs and also heavily weakened ringgit. Next, there are also some businessmen that hardly and barely have any profit since they sell the chicken at RM 90 ringgit 40 cents per kg.
Explanation on the related topic in the syllabus. Based on the article, it shows that Malaysia raised ceiling price for chicken. The first thing that we must know before we go further is about equilibrium. Buyers are who create the demand because of their willingness and ability to buy goods, and sellers are who create the supply because of their willingness and ability to sell goods. Law of demand is an inverse relationship between price and quantity, while the law of supply is a positive relationship between price and quantity. These two basic laws help keep price in check and fair for both buyers and sellers. Because of these two laws, the price looks to be in a state equilibrium. From the table and the graph, we can prove the law of demand. As we can see, when the price is decreasing, the demand will be increased. This situation same with the law of demand that said an inverse relationship between price and quantity. From the table and the graph, we can prove the law of supply. As we can see, when the price is decreasing, the supply will be decreased. This situation same with the law of supply that said positive relationship between price and quantity. An equilibrium is a condition whereby the quantity demand and quantity supply are equal. When market is in equilibrium, the quantity that sellers are willing to sell are exactly balanced the quantity that buyers are willing to buy. In other words, the quantity demand and the quantity supply is ideal for both sellers and buyers. Regarding from the article, when the government set the ceiling price, there will be a legal price set below the equilibrium price, and the sellers are not allowed to increase higher than the price. The ceiling price or maximum price will be imposed by the government when the prices of essential goods in the market are extremely high. The graph shows the demand and supply curve for chicken in 2022. Producers are not allowed to increase the price of chicken, but they are only allowed to sell the chicken below than the price.
So in conclusion, the action that has been taken by the government regarding the ceiling price issue that has been included in chicken sales should be reconsidered wisely, since it could potentially lead to certain disadvantages. According to studies, this action from the government could possibly cause trouble for low-income households, since they might have problems of purchasing the chicken before the ceiling price has been set. Some of them might can't afford to purchase the chicken since they don't have enough money to purchase it. So the government needs to be tolerant in the situation between the rise of sale incomes and the pleasure of people's lives. So to simplify my explanation is that in this world, it contains two groups of people, which is poor peoples, or as known as low-income households, and also rich peoples. Both of these groups, they have their own limited usage in terms of their spending budget, which means that the government shouldn't put a price ceiling at a very high value to make it fair for both sides. And also, the government as well shouldn't put a price ceiling at a very low value, because to make sure that the sale incomes keep rising as planned in the progress. Besides, this action from the government might as well increases the quantity demand of the chicken from the customers, since the price of the chicken might be too cheap for most people. Due to this situation, the supply of the chicken will decrease as the supplier can gain enough profits. This could probably cause a shortage, since the quantity demand of the chicken is higher than the quantity supply of the chicken. So to simplify my explanation here is that the action that has been taken by the government here could probably cause a very huge negative impact towards the supplier, since they can't gain enough profit, as I mentioned earlier. So let us proceed. Moreover, the imposition of price ceiling towards the chicken from the government might seem useless, since it causes certain disadvantages as stated above, but it might as well provide advantages for a long period of time. From this point of view, customers including low-income households will be able to prepare their maximum and minimum budget to purchase the chicken, since the value of the chicken can be decreased. So that's all for part 2. Thank you.